What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. Y'all hit that like button and hit the subscribe button. So look, we always gonna call this portion of my videos story time with Mac. And I always tell y'all I got a lot of crazy and a lot of wild stories that I've heard about or I've experienced directly during my upbringing in Chicago, right? So I always tell y'all I went to high school. I'm from the South Side of Chicago. I went to high school on the south side of Chicago at Morgan Park High School. Now, Morgan Park was one of the best, academically, one of the best public schools in Chicago, especially on the south side. As far as south side goes, Morgan Park was one of the best high schools academically, with one of the best curriculums on the south side of Chicago, right? Um, while we were a great school, I love Morgan Park. Morgan Park was a place that showed me black people were truly not monolithic. We had black folks that were good at sports, black folks that were good at all type of creative arts, black folks that were great in band and people. A lot of my friends was to school on band scholarships, football scholarships, basketball scholarships. Um, are great poets to this day. Kids that went to school on, again, bowling scholarships, all different type of stuff, right? So and I have friends who are fashion designers currently, and they design clothes for really famous artists, right? But anyway, within this high school, um, you would hear certain things sometimes, right? And I remember hearing stories about certain. Well, I remember this one in particular. There's one teacher who the girls felt like where he was creepy. They felt like he was a creep. He was a gym teacher, right? Now I never had any interactions with him because I didn't take gym. I took JROTC. So I was in ROTC, junior ROTC is what they call it, right? Because the real ROTC is when you get to college. But I was in JROTC so all 4 years. So I never took gym. Anyway, the gym teacher, his name was Mr. A. He had a different type of last name that people couldn't pronounce, but they call him Mr. A. And I don't remember his last name to be specific. I really don't, because I wasn't interacting with him daily. But anyway, he was a young Caucasian guy. Some of the girls thought he was really nice looking. All of that. But then after a while, the girl started telling me that he was like coming across as creepy. Like he would go to Subway. Subway was right across the street from Morgan Park. He would go to Subway and be trying to give the girls his cookies from Subway and offer them some food from Subway all the time. He would be doing stuff like that. And my homegirls, they noticed that like he would only be like this with the girls. He would not be giving of his food and trying to buy cookies for the boys and stuff at all. And then the girls started to notice that he would have girls coming out of his office quite often. Like they would always be up in there smiling in his face, coming out with cookies, so on and so forth. And they said he came across as really creepy. Like, yo, what does he got going on? It just seemed like he just on some creepy type time, like, right? And one of the girls talked about him seeming flirtatious with one of the students. So fast forward, time goes by. It comes out that he's gotten one of the students in the school pregnant. This 18-year-old girl, he got her pregnant in the school. Like she was a senior, but he got her pregnant. Now, he didn't go to jail because the girl was 18 years old. She was legal age, but he lost his job and couldn't get no Chicago public school job no longer. I don't even know if he can work around kids at all, and he shouldn't be able to, right? Because while she was of legal age, she wasn't when you was preying on her, when you was grooming her, trying to give her cookies and all that. He was really setting it all up for him to be having these relationships with these girls when they became of age, right? So he couldn't go to jail, but you can lose your job though, for sure. So he probably was, again, trying to get the girls to gain his trust, to get the girls' trust. He was trying to gain the girls' trust, I'm sorry, and offer him all type of cookies and all that type of stuff so they could feel comfortable talking to him about all different type of stuff, grooming, essentially, right? And then the moment he felt like, oh, you 18 now, that's when he gonna strike, right? And that's what happened. And so yeah, even though she was of legal age, he was still a predator. Because why are you talking to a girl that's your student and then you're preying on a girl, you're grooming her from when she's not even of legal age, You know what I mean? Grooming her for an interaction when she gets legal. You out here preying on her and preying on other girls the same way. You looking at 15, 16-year-old girls. In my school, Morgan Park had some beautiful girls up in there. Beautiful girls. You know what I mean? They were pretty girls. A lot of them still beautiful to this day. You know? And he saw that and saw it as an opportunity for him to capitalize off of it. Now, this dude was probably like in his 30s, early to mid 30s, you know, and he in there looking at these girls as bait, as something for him to fish for. So again, yeah, he was grooming them, giving them cookies, all of that, and he got a girl pregnant. Got the girl pregnant, and I believe she had the baby and all of that, and so on and so forth. But it was wild. It was crazy how it was going through the school, because it was like people was like, I told y'all, he was in here trying to look at these girls and trying to get at these girls, right? Now, then another story happened. A story that happened, like something that happened before I even got to Morgan Park High School. I got to Morgan Park High School in 2007. In 2005, right, we had, Morgan Park was always known to be a great football school. The late, great Lexi Spurlock always had the Morgan Park Mustangs on fire. Morgan Park always was the go-to. Morgan Park and Simeon High School and Hubbard, they were the top, like, football programs and CPS football programs for real, right? And so, during that time in 2005, Morgan Park had the #1 player in the state of Illinois. He was a quarterback headed to Notre Dame, right? I'm trying to think, should I say his name? Because I'm about to tell something that he got into. Everybody know about it that went to Morgan Park. And actually, people give him cool points for it to this day because it was crazy, right? But he was the #1 player in the state of Illinois in 2005. He was going to Notre Dame to play quarterback, which was a big deal because most times Chicago public school kids, they try to turn Chicago public school quarterbacks into like DBs or receivers or running backs. They don't believe in CPS kids really having the tools to be a quarterback on the collegiate level. And it was a big deal that this player was getting recruited to be a quarterback at Notre Dame when Notre Dame was a powerhouse, right? And during this time, it was a teacher in the school that everybody said was fine as hell. I never saw her because she had left by the time she had got fired by the time I got to Morgan Park. But I remember my ROTC instructor, Sergeant Otha Davis. Rest in peace to Sergeant Davis. Sergeant Davis was a mentor for me, a good brother, upstanding black man that was a father figure to a lot of young black boys and black girls in Morgan Park High School. Sergeant Davis was telling me about it because I heard the story coming into school. All of us heard about it because it had happened 2 years prior to that. Sergeant Davis was like, yo, this teacher, she was fine as ever. Like all the security guards was trying to talk to her. You had some other male teachers trying to get at her. Some of the football coaches trying to talk to her. She wouldn't budge. She wouldn't talk to none of the security guards, none of the high school football coaches, none of the teachers, nothing. She was stayed on her square. She was all about her business. She was all about her work. And that was it. That was all. Until she ran into this young 18-year-old phenom that was about to be at Notre Dame, right? The brother's name is Demetrius Jones. I'm going to say his name is Demetrius Jones, right? She run into Demetrius and she, I believe, saw dollar signs. She saw what his potential was. He probably, in most people's eyes, oh, Demetrius probably going to be an NFL prospect. He going to Notre Dame. He ain't going to no mid-major. He going to a powerhouse school to play quarterback. And I think she saw that. She looked at him like, oh my God, you know, and for somehow, some way, they developed a relationship where they was intimate with each other. For real, he 18 and she grown. She fine. He doing what he do with her, right? Now, they say they got found out after they got caught having relations with each other in the car. I don't know if it was on school grounds or what. I'm trying to remember. This is what I heard. I don't know this. This is what I heard. I wasn't there firsthand, but I heard they got caught in the car with each other. Right? I don't know. I think maybe the police caught them or something like that. And they found out where she worked, where he went to school at. So she got fired. Again, she couldn't go to jail because he was of legal age. Right? She knew he was 18 years old, but you going to get fired because it's like you was preying on him. You knew this boy had this potential to go play in the NFL one day and probably make a lot of money. And Demetrius never went to the NFL. Matter of fact, things didn't work out at Notre Dame. He ended up going to Cincinnati and playing linebacker and all of that because he was a big dude and all of that. But it never worked out in the NFL or nothing like that for him. But she didn't know that. She thought probably he finna go to the league. And she was letting that young boy have his way with her, you know? And I'm sure he was enjoying that because everybody said that she was super fine, that she was finer than a ticket on the dashboard as far as Sergeant Davis and the other teachers. Other teachers told me that. Sergeant Davis wasn't the only one. Other teachers told me how fine she was and how everybody was trying to get at her and she wouldn't budge. But for that 18-year-old young man, that 18-year-old young man, what? She let him do what he wanted to do. And she was down with it, 100%. I'm like, man, he had this grown woman letting him like doing whatever. She had her in the car wilding out. She risking it all because she see what his potential is and where he could go. And she wanted to be attached to that somehow. Can't tell me nothing otherwise. You thought she just thought he was cute or something? All right, maybe she did, but she saw them dollar signs too. So wild, crazy stories, man.